Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have a treat for you guys today because we're going to be talking about bride talk. I freaking love talking about like any bride related drama. Unfortunately, this bride related drama entailed a bride being kicked out of their Airbnb with like 3 hours to go till they could actually get to their venue because of the policy that the Airbnb owners have. We not only have one of the stylists from the bridal party brought this to TikTok first and foremost, but we also have the Airbnb owner who has since come out with like a 10-minute long video detailing exactly what happened. Apologies if the lighting in here is like weird as hell today. It's because I'm filming a little bit later than normal. So that's the reasoning why. All of these postings have happened within less than 24 hours of each other. So I have a feeling like this is going to blow up. And I would be so curious to find out, who do you think is in the right in this situation? Because I feel like it is one of them where it's so split. Half the people are agreeing with the bride and the stylist, and then the other half are agreeing with the Airbnb. So it's one of them. First character that we have in this is someone called Tyranny, and Tyranny is a stylist. I believe she is a hairstylist. She might do both. I don't know. She's a stylist, and yeah, she will sort you out on your wedding day. She actually flew all the way out just to be in Texas for this bridal morning, and she posted this TikTok video that included her getting there. She was in charge of 10 bridesmaids, but then the bride had a separate stylist, and as soon as they let the Airbnb owner know that there was going to be one additional person that's going to be joining the bridal party, she completely flipped out. She threatened to call the police on them, and they all had to evacuate the Airbnb.
Bridal party getting put out of Airbnb on wedding day.
It's way fucking ridiculous. If the bride can't get her hair and makeup done, then we have to be at the venue. What? We have 2 hours? Where we gonna go for 2 hours? We in the middle of nowhere.
Literally in the middle of fucking nowhere.
She had 7 people.
Hair and makeup.
It doesn't even matter. We're not having a house party. We're doing our hair for a wedding. Like, fuck y'all.
And it is interesting to note as well is that the bride has contacted Airbnb. They have got their money back. And we're going to hear from the Airbnb owner in just a hot minute. But the listing of that Airbnb apparently is not there anymore. I did literally just type into Google the name of the Airbnb host. And I'm not joking. It was AI generated. But it basically told me exactly what accommodation it was. I was like, what is this? It's so easy to find out information these days on the internet.
Louisiana, I was hired to do a wedding in Montgomery, Texas. I don't know anything about Montgomery, Texas. I do know it looked a little weird when I was looking up Airbnbs and hotels, so I chose to stay in Spring, Texas. I want to say it took us about 45 minutes to drive there, so we were not there long at all. I set up my stuff. I curled up 2 people. However, I did have 10 people to do, so the bride had her own stylist. We also could not get in the venue until 12. So when the bride's stylist arrived, that took us over the limit of 6 people. At that point, the host was actually contacted, and we were like, hey, we're going to have an overlap. You know, it's going to be a 7th person here only for about 10 minutes, but 3 people are about to go. She then said we had to go. We could not stay there. She does not allow that many people. So now the bride is like, okay, everyone can leave now. Can I just stay? Because her stylist was outside. The host then says, you have 30 minutes to leave or I'll call the sheriff's office. At that point, we're like, whoa, this escalated quickly. Why would you weaponize the police? Y'all, it was literally 9 a.m. We were so quiet. It was so I just don't understand why you would put a bride out and we're basically begging. We do understand though that rules are rules, so we just peacefully left. We did lose hours that we needed in getting ready, but hey, everything worked out. The bride was pleased. She was beautiful. The bridesmaids were beautiful. The venue was beautiful. The enemy was just busy. The mother of the bride did contact Airbnb, and she is getting a full refund, and I believe the host page is down.
Everyone was obviously then on the bride side and the stylist side, just like, this is absolutely ridiculous. We'll say, because Tyranny was saying that she was in charge of 10 people, in my head, that means that there are 10 people there. So they were asking for an additional person when they already had more people there. But whoever, whatever, that is what happened. That is her story. People managed to find this Airbnb and started leaving like all sorts of stuff. You know how TikTok works. TikTok did its thing on this Airbnb. And before you know it, I'm not joking, hours, minutes, not enough time, literally. But the time that Tyranny had posted her video and then the Airbnb owner had posted theirs, a few hours had surpassed. Usually you'd wait a couple of days. No, the Airbnb owner was hot on this.
My name is Reina Tart. I'm a real estate agent and I also own Airbnbs and I do this for a living. I'm the one that actually went viral on TikTok regarding about kicking out a bride.
Reina comes on and she says that when the booking came through, that it was made for 2 people. It was a man and a woman. Some time had gone past. It contacted again and said, still making sure this is for 2 people. And it was confirmed just 2 people. It was on the day the Airbnb host learns that actually it was a bridal party.
And on the booking, it shows only 2 people in there. And, as a host, I would like to communicate with my guests prior to them coming over, just to give them a reminder about how to check in. And I also tried to confirmed also on my message that I saw that there's only 2 of you and we are so excited to host both of you. And then I got a message from a woman, which is the guest, saying, thank you. I said, okay, everything's okay. So that's the 12th. The check-in time is at 3:00 p.m. The second day, which is September the 13th, I got a message from the female guest telling me, letting me know that there's gonna be people coming over.
The message says, good morning, just wanted to let you know that I'm getting married today, like 15 minutes down the road. My venue won't let me and my bridesmaids in yet, but will around 12 p.m. By that time, we should all be gone, as well as the cars. I just wanted to let you all know so that you didn't think it was a party or anything. I apologise for the inconvenience. Please let me know if there's anything you need from me. And again, I apologise. Now, this is the very first time she's hearing about this because Reina just thinks like it's just a man and a woman booking. She doesn't realise that it was anything to do with a wedding. Didn't know. So she says, congratulations on your wedding day. Our policy will only allow 6 people total in our property. That must be approved prior to check-in. We have very strict policy, mainly due to liability purposes. So she's basically going like, this should already have been spoken about and there's only a 6 people rule anyway.
Because it's her wedding day. And this is new to me. I didn't know there's going to be a wedding or she's going to be a bride. She never communicated to me regarding weddings.
Reina actually has her comments limited access. There is actually I think there's like a comment from her daughter or someone who's saying like, you don't deserve this kind of thing. But essentially it's extremely split. When I tell you it's extremely split. And it's funny because in my last video I was talking about like rules are rules, and I'm such a stickler for like stuff like that. It's like like you need to like read the fine print. Maybe there's a chance that she just didn't see the 6 people policy, or maybe she did and that's the reason why she chose not to say anything. No, I think if it was me, I would probably let it slide. If everyone's going to be out and they're gone, I'd probably let it slide, purely on the basis that it's a wedding party. Whoever, whatever. This is what I mean. I want to hear everyone's thoughts and feelings on this because honestly, extremely split. Reina then started going around and saying like she wants ID, like photo IDs of everyone that's in the building.
Why you just told me about this? If this is your big day and you planned for this for a while and you've been communicating with the wedding venue, you should know that their check-in time is not before 12. And, we do have, requirements, right, for our guests? Because as a host, we created our own house rules. So one of the house rules is that I do need all the IDs from all the people that's actually staying on our property. Either they stay there, hang out, or stay there overnight or sleep overnight. I do need to have those IDs. This is my home. It's very special to me. This is personal. I just want to make sure the people who are those people coming in. And I never got that.
She wanted to know exactly who was in the house because up until this point, The Airbnb, they had no idea that there were even cars in the drive. They had no idea that there were more than 2 people. Like, they honestly had no idea. Then she reads on, we apologize. We will not be able to accommodate your request. Bride says, okay, do you know where they may be able to go since it's only 3.5 hours? Raina says, okay, I'm checking right now. How many are they? You can check Margaritaville. Is that it? Bride said they don't need a place to stay, just a place to wait until 12 and then they're leaving. They aren't staying the night, just waiting around, basically. Raina, yes, would not even let like the additional people into their accommodation, even just to wait.
The other rule that we have is we only allowed 3 cars that can be parked in our property. And there is no street parking. There's 6 cars and there's cars parked outside. So that's actually broken the rule. You have to understand, this is all about respect. If you're going to somebody's property, you need to communicate. I have no problem, if she communicated with me and letting me know about the bridal party. How could I kick her out? Ask her, how many people do you have? I even asked her, do you need place? I can find some place for them to stay. And I even suggested Margaritaville. And she said, no, they're not going to be going in there. Other rules that she actually broke. So in this case, I cannot make my own decision. I do have to call Airbnb, and I got Airbnb involved. Because the way that she presented it to me, she's not asking me permission. She's telling me what she's going to do.
And the heat starts driving up. Raina says, I totally understand. Again, only 6 people allowed to be on the property. Only 3 cars allowed to be on the property. No street parking, and all ID need to be submitted for all guests prior to check-in. These policies were on the listing that person agreed to upon booking. You are violating numerous policies of ours. I will give you 30 minutes to vacate the property, otherwise the sheriff will be notified to vacate you from the property. I confirmed with you yesterday that there is only 2 of you checking in when I sent the check-in info. Bride says, are you talking about me too? I'm trying to figure out what to do and what to tell my dad. Yeah, so at this point, Raina then starts threatening to call the police to like try and get them out the building. Even though, to my own understanding, I'm looking at the screenshots, there wasn't a hell of a lot of like, we're not leaving, but that's what Raina is insinuating, that they were like adamant that they're not going anywhere, but that's not what I see.
We don't have cameras. We give our guests privacy. I didn't even know that she has cars and, she got people in there until she messaged me. And then I tried to communicate with her about the policies, and it seems like she's trying to prove her point, and I can't go further with her. Of course, Airbnb wanted to get all the information, okay? They have to evaluate the host and they have to evaluate the guest. So Airbnb did their thing. Unfortunately, Airbnb was not able to get hold of this female guest because I believe she's not answering their call. Airbnb contacted me back, and I told Airbnb and I said, hey, how can I move forward on this one? Because I am not comfortable anymore of them staying in there, because really, I don't know how many people inside the house. So I told Airbnb, said, well, Raina, what do you think you would feel like doing? And I said, well, maybe I can call a cop. And of course, Airbnb can't really tell us what to do. So I told Airbnb like, hey, if I call a cop, that would be okay. And Airbnb said, so whatever is you're comfortable doing, you can absolutely do that because it's your property, which I never did. Okay. No, I never called a cop, and I don't have a brother cop. Okay. So when I sent that information, she sent me a really, really, nasty text or messages. And I knew I can't, no, I'm not comfortable, okay? So this is my property and I'm not comfortable with it. If she is not willing to be honest with me, I don't respect that.
It's someone's wedding. Then again, I do understand that obviously this was all on the listing before anyone ever agreed to it. No additional cars on the driveway. Everyone's IDs have got to be checked before you go. And no more than 6 people. Some people are getting kind of a little bit uppity and uppity about IDs have got to be checked. In some cases, I've checked into places where, like, yeah, you have to show like you are who you say that you are, even if you're just staying for a night. Not everywhere requires that. I don't book off of Airbnb that often. I usually go Expedia or Booking.com. But yeah, sometimes you do have to like show them your stuff. I don't know, it depends. Obviously it's like someone's house, isn't it? So they want to know who's in there and they want to know how many people. They don't want it to be trashed. They could have all of these different like HOA things with the liability situations. I hear that is a massive, great big thing, and people are also talking about that. Anyway, this all ended with the bride sending her a message saying, "Awesome, I hope you have the day you deserve," after threatening to call the sheriff on a bride who was trying to have effective communication. Lovely conversation. And then the reservation was then cancelled. It then says down there. And then within such a short space of time, Raina then goes and checks on the Airbnb just to be like, oh, has everyone left? And then the minute she goes and does that, her phone just starts blowing up because the TikToks then been posted and people are then like reviewing and stuff their Airbnb. So I believe they've actually had to take the listing down because I've gone to try and find it and I can't find it anywhere.
Next thing I know, my phone is blowing up on Airbnb app, telling me I'm a racist, telling me this, telling me that, nasty messages. And that went on the whole day, the whole night until today. Today is the 14th. Still getting a lot of messages. And after that, people are messaging my social media, nasty, being a racist, okay? I get calls, I get emails. So basically, all of that. I understand, a lot of negative comments because people only saw a one-sided story. If they just know the whole story, then maybe they will react differently. And that's the reason why I'm making this video. Takeaway of this story is that the guest violated a lot of rules. As a host, we have rules. And on our listing, it says that if you violate these rules, then your reservation might be canceled.
Apparently the bride has got her full refund, so Airbnb took her side on this one rather than taking the host side. I feel like I've already talked myself in circles about this whole situation, and I would just love to hear everyone else's thoughts and feelings on this, because like I say, it's extremely split. You have some people who are saying the bride should have did know, should have known, whatever. It very clearly states in the rules. And when she was asked about it, do you have two people? She could have said, hey, by the way. She kind of left it to the morning of. But then again, she is getting married. Maybe it was just an afterthought. I don't know. And then you then have other people who are saying that the Airbnb's reaction to the situation is completely unnecessary, and how dare she threaten her with police, and she should have just let it slide because it was only going to be for 3.5 hours. So where do you guys fit in on this scale? I would love to hear everyone's thoughts and feelings on this. I hope you guys have a wonderful day today. This lighting, I'm so sorry. I can't. If I open up the blinds, I can't see because the light is too much. If I close the blinds, it's too dark. So I don't know what's going on. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.